John Liautaud generated $1 billion net worth off of sandwiches. I'm Tyrone Keys. And look, you've been to Jimmy John's, right? The food is delicious, but there are no frills. There are no fries. There's no potato salad. There's no onion rings. There's sandwiches, drinks, and chips. But Jimmy John Liautaud had a passion. He created a business, and he's going to tell you all about how he made it a $1 billion business. Now, the next 4 minutes, what he's going to go through, I assure you, he could charge good money to tell you what he's about to tell you for free. And hang on until the end, because this last little bit of advice that he gives you is worth its weight in gold. If you're out there trying to figure it out, you're saying corporate America isn't necessarily as secure as it used to be. Gig work is iffy. You got an idea. You want to put it into place. Let's listen to what Jimmy John Liautaud has to say on that score.
Who am I here with today?
Jimmy John.
And what was your business?
Jimmy John sandwiches.
So selling sandwiches made you a billionaire.
Selling sandwiches made me a billionaire.
How many billions did you make with Jimmy John's?
The company was valued at about $3.5 billion when we sold.
$3.5 billion.
Yeah.
When you first started this business, did you know that it was going to turn into the multi-billion-dollar empire that it did?
No. All I wanted was enough money for weed and beer. I had no idea.
Were you a good student in school?
No, second to last in my class. I graduated. It was the worst.
But you didn't let that define you.
Oh.
Why not?
I'm the only billionaire from my class. I'm just fine, right?
This is key. A lot of people equate wealth with intellect, with extreme intellect. That's a mistake. Some of the wealthiest people in this world are C students, and some of the brokest are A students.
I did just fine.
I'm going to challenge you right now.
Yeah.
As a billionaire, take me back to the most life-changing conversation that you've ever had. What is the greatest advice you ever received throughout your career?
It was Jamie Coulter, 1987. Jamie Coulter was a Pizza Hut franchisee. He had 25 Pizza Huts. He lived in Wichita, Kansas. This is the guy that he built those up and sold them. He created Lone Star Steakhouse, Sullivan's, and bought Del Frisco's and blew it all up and was a big public company. Jamie Coulter taught me 1987. I had 4 sub shops. And he taught me if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. People do what you do, not what you tell them. And then he shared with me all his process procedure stuff that his Pizza Huts, and I adapted into the Jimmy John stores. But the biggest one was if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Know your numbers. Get your numbers, know them. And that was probably the most, that was life-changing for me.
Okay, I want to point out something here. This man has $1 billion net worth off of sandwiches. Now, I am blessed. I know several billionaires, actually. I ain't one of them, okay? But they're in industries that you might find surprising. Roofing, okay, construction, shipping, all right, contracting, real estate, putting up buildings and stuff like that. Don't think that you have to create the next Facebook in order to be someone who generates real wealth out here. Okay, you don't need to swing for the innovative fences. You can run a well-managed business in a mature industry like sandwiches and do just fine if your business is well managed.
Is the sacrifice worth it to become a billionaire?
Well, I was a billionaire before I sold. Like I had $1 billion when I sold the business because I was making all that money, so I saved the money, right? And I didn't know how to invest, so I bought land and farmland, and I bought gold because I didn't know how to be an investor. So
what do the richest people do with their money? Like you as a billionaire, talk to that person. They don't have a great mentor out there.
Yeah.
Where do you put your money in today's world to make it work for you?
You ask really, really good questions. I do things that I understand. I've got to be able to understand it on a single sheet of paper. I've got to understand what it is, and I got to be able to relate to it. And so real estate for me is really easy. Farm ground, I'm a massive farm owner.
Why is that?
Because farm ground is really, really easy to manage. I mean, you have ground, you have land, you have your inputs, you have your seed and all the fertilizers and all those things, and you plant, and then you hope for rain, and then you harvest and you sell. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
So it can be a very profitable piece of real estate to buy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the farm business has been incredible. And then I also, as far as taking risk, I bet the jockey, not the horse. So I bet the entrepreneur. If I meet somebody that I like a lot and they got the fire and they don't have excuses, because people either perform or they tell you stories. I like to invest in performers. I don't want any stories. I've heard enough.
So I want to go back to 2003 one more time to discuss this real quick. You had, I think, 200 locations.
70 failing.
70 failing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. 200 locations, 70 failing. But you're gonna hear how he didn't let these failures stop him how he actually, and this is one hallmark of highly successful people, they see failure as a learning opportunity.
You could have made the decision to go off and sell those locations, but instead you said, I want to turn these around. I want to turn this business around. What was the one thing you implemented to those stores to ensure that they would become profitable?
I changed something. And what I changed is I quit selling them. And I told people, I said, look, if you're going to go in the sandwich business, this is 24/7, 365. And if you're in the cattle business, cattle need to get fed on Sunday. They need to get fed on Christmas Day, and they get sick, and you got to take care of them. I start telling people the truth about the business. It's a lifestyle. It is incredible hard work. It is a grind. So if you're going to do this, you better be ready to be a grinder. Okay, this is not a joke. I mean,
listen, when some people think about starting their own business, I think they mistake the time factor as something that's more attractive than it really is. He's absolutely right. Oftentimes, you're going to spend much more time in your business than you would at a 40-hour per week job. You may go without compensation in order to make sure your employees are paid, okay, while you're getting this business up and running. That's the truth. People have to be cognizant of, as he said, the grind. It is not all glamorous. I tell you that much. Okay. Now, we've been in business for over 20 years, and there have been ups and there have been downs. All right. But you got to roll with the punches. So it's not like business owners are driving around in fancy cars and spending 6 hours on the golf course every day. Far from it.
flavor costs money, and the flavor you taste in Jimmy John's, it's all that, everything is hand sliced, right? And I only would sell them one at a time instead of selling them an area. I said, I'll give you one. If you like it, great. Then we'll give you a couple more. If you're doing well, great. We'll give you a couple more. It was a reverse pitch. And you know what happened? The more I told people don't do it, guess what people want to do?
They want to do it.
They want to do it. But I was just telling them the truth because I was rich. My kids were young. I didn't need money. And I said, I'm no way I'm ever doing what I just did ever again. And so that was and then so the third 10 years, we opened up 2,500 stores, one at a time.
So there's no work-life balance in order to become a billionaire.
Buddy, there is work-life balance is the biggest line of bullshit that has ever been created.
Bingo. And corporations started that line, work-life balance. And notice how they put work in front of life. Okay. Again, if you're going to go out here and do your own thing, start your own business, whether it be part-time or full-time, you're going to have to understand that in many ways, your business will become your life. Now, I'm just telling you the truth. If that's not something that you want to accept, then I would highly encourage you to stay in the W-2 world. There's nothing wrong with that because they say, on Friday at 5, you can leave and you don't have to show up again for 2 more days. Okay. Not so with a business of your own.
There's no such thing as work-life balance. When you're going to squeeze lemonade out of horse shit, you got to squeeze really, really hard, okay? So there is no work-life balance. It doesn't exist. It's bullshit. There's work-life balance, but to create something from nothing, there is no such thing, right? And going through it all, when you create something this big from nothing, I would say that I survived. Like, look, I went through all the betrayals, all the ripoffs, all the scams, all the things that you have to maneuver to get through and get to where we are now. I survived it. I'm here and I did it.
Now, the sandwich business is competitive. One of the things that you did differently from everybody else that you became known for was the freaky fast delivery.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like Arizona iced tea founder. We interviewed him as well, John Liautaud. He had the 99-cent pricing strategy that became a huge marketing tactic. Did you know at the time that freaky fast delivery would become such a phenomenon and that you would be known for and ultimately, differentiate you guys?
It's a great question. So the delivery originally, I couldn't afford A locations because I didn't have the money.
So A locations?
A locations, like primo locations, main and main. Right. I couldn't afford it. So I took B and C locations. And what delivery did is allowed me to pay B and C rent and do A sales because I went out and hustled. And I went out giving out samples literally on college campuses, like thousands and thousands of samples in a very disciplined way. And that's what nobody knows. That's what nobody knows. But now you know the secret.
How do you know?
61.
Do you have any regrets?
I don't believe in that shit. I'm going forward. All we got is this moment right now in the present, and I got the future. There's nothing I can do about the past, right? And I fucked up a lot of stuff, okay? I did a lot of stupid shit, but I'm not going there, okay? I've been forgiven. I've forgiven. We're moving forward. So, yeah, I'm done regretting. I'm too old to regret, buddy.
Cool. All right. So I hope you found that helpful. Now, listen, one important thing he said there near the end was his value proposition. He wasn't in the best location, so he created a value proposition to get you your food fast. And I can tell you, we used to have an office over in Columbia, And it was amazing how fast they would deliver our orders. Okay. And they were always right. That was his value proposition. What is that thing? Because there are a million sandwich shops, right? Everybody's selling sandwiches, right? But he differentiated his business with the freaky fast delivery. All right. And when you are located in proximity to office parks and things like that, people got a half an hour lunch or maybe an hour lunch or maybe less. If you're a business owner, you got to eat on the fly. That quick delivery stood out and still does today. Okay. So take it from Jimmy John. All right. And also take a lesson from him about not getting mired in the past. All right. We all have things that we could look back and say, I should have done that different, or I faced that challenge in a way that taught me a lot, but I could have maybe done it better based on what I know now. Hey, man, look, unless what you're going to invent is a time machine, you got to learn from the past, but don't stay mired in it. Okay. Always move forward. I'm Tyrone Keys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll talk to you soon.